Potente ataque del Torito. A falta de 4 kilómetros. Solamente Tiberri le marcó el paso, pero a falta de 2,5 kilómetros, lo soltó. Se hicieron presentes los mexicanos, y Del Toro, con ese aliento, potenció las piernas, y ahora, es líder de la tabla general.
He's on his limit. You can see him grimacing. He's absolutely on his limit. Any more acceleration here from Del Toro, and I think Tiberi has to may go. You still have to get to the steepest part of this climb, but I think Del Toro has got Tiberi on the ropes.
And he's weaving around to try and break Antonio Tiberi's will, and indeed break the slipstream. And Tiberi is inch by inch, centimetre by centimetre, dropping back. He's a couple of bike lengths. He slumps back into the saddle, but he continues to resist this effort. Slight easing of the gradient would allow Tiberi back in, and he's just there, but he's only just barely there. And this is a titanic scrap, and Del Toro's not for easing up just yet. Del Toro continues to press on the pedals, but Tiberi, I think, might have been saved ever so slightly by the gradient there. Still 3.5 to go, and probably another, kilometre of the really, really demanding gradient of this climb for Isaac Del Toro to do what he can to unseat Antonio Tiberi.
I know he's in the red jersey, but he has to really watch he doesn't stay in the red too long when it comes to, what he's got left in the tank here. And that was a telling sign. So he lost the wheel, come back. That'll help his confidence a little bit. But you can see just the way, his body was, the facial expressions, that he was under the cosh there. He's come back once. We haven't even hit the hardest part of this climb, but Del Toro, he's not going to give up.
Yeah, and he hasn't eased up just yet, has he? Because they're not, Felix Gall and friends are not quite able to get on terms. Support for Del Toro and Tiberi. One-on-one for glory today. Felix Gall third on the mountain, moving up on GC, and mindful that he's got to get back to the front pretty quickly before this one goes again.
Del Toro is going to go again. As soon as we come round this corner, I think Del Toro will go. And again, I think Tiberi will be distanced. He's on the ropes. I'll look back here, and I think this is where Adam Yates went, and he's already given that information down to Del Toro. So I think round this hairpin, on the steepest part of the climb, we're going to see Del Toro accelerate again.
Well, the rider in white has to try and find 21 extra seconds. That's the advantage of the rider in red. The overall race leader, Antonio Tiberi, carries into this mountain. Felix Gall starting the day late with 8 seconds down on GC. There's a bit to find, but potentially can.
Played well, really well.
That is impressive. Is moving up. Perhaps starting the day quick, but managing his effort absolutely perfectly. The Jaco Lula perfectly.
Yeah, I think Del Toro, he has to go now. If he's got anything left in the tank, he has to go now. This is the steepest part of the climb now. It does ease off it with about 2 kilometres to go. That's where I think Tiberi needs to get to. It's going to be very difficult to get rid of him there. He has to go now, but you have to say, wow,
what about this from Luke Clapp? Didn't panic, has not really been involved much on the climb to this point, but starting the day in 5th overall at 1 minute and 19 seconds, potentially moving up into a podium position, potentially got a challenge for stage honours here, and Del Toro will look around, get a signal that if Clapp is coming back, that it's now or never really to try and really push on. Through this hairpin, the gradient becomes a little bit more challenging. Route around the road just to get, and here we go, there's the attack. Will Tiberi be able to answer the challenge? He knows it's coming, and he slumps back in the saddle really quickly. Is that because he's finding it no problem to stay on top of the cadence, or because he's finding it very difficult indeed? He dips his head. That's a bad signal. A couple of bike lengths opened up by Isaac Del Toro, and he's starting to race clear. And Antonio Tiberi now is in a solo race to try and stay on terms with Isaac Del Toro. One-on-one for glory here, and it's advantage to the Mexican at the moment. But Tiberi, of course, with that 21-second advantage starting the day, with bonus seconds on the finish line as well to be considered. But it's Isaac Del Toro that's opened up the advantage and is racing clear. Is he racing to glory?
Well, it looks like that at the moment anyway. I think Del Toro has got the bit between his teeth. That was the hardest part of the climb. Now it's over. Now it's man against man. Will I get any help from Luke Clapp? Or I'm going to wait and see that, because Luke Clapp goes straight past him. You can see Del Toro, he eased ever so slightly, and then bang, went again. Now he can put the hammer down. This is where you can make the difference. They can't make the difference. And Luke Plath is now in a position to even take bonuses away from Tiberi. So Del Toro only needs 11 seconds if he wins the stage, but of course he eases up, he's waiting for Tiberi, and it looks as if the two of them are going to work together.
Yeah, that's what's required here. The gradient eases just as the ease there a little bit, but it's not easy right now for Antonio Tiberi because he's seeing Isaac Del Toro scarper off up the road. Remember, 22 seconds, that's a race-winning advantage already for Isaac Del Toro. Can he hold it all the way to the line? Remember, 10, 6 and 4 bonus seconds on the line. Potential for minimum gain by Isaac Del Toro. Bonuses plus the advantage on the road. He's got everything he needs right now. Tiberi has really invested to stay with Del Toro, and now he can't even stay with Luke Plath. But Luke Plath, the only man I think who can prevent Isaac Del Toro from taking stage honours today, and I'm not sure anything can prevent Isaac Del Toro from taking the overall race victory. What a week indeed it's been. Fortunes ebbing and flowing on the mountain on day 3. Isaac Del Toro, after his extraordinary stage 1 success against the sprinters on the rising road to the Libre Planas, slightly more difficult day on the time trial bike the following day against this man, Antonio Tiberi. Then on day 3, Tiberi timing his run to absolute perfection. Isaac Del Toro with a wonderful recovery ride to second on the Jebel Mogra. Jebel Hafid proving to be a much happier hunting ground for the UAE Team Emirates XRG man. As his shoulders rock and he's pumping the pedals to great effect. Still 1,300 meters to the line. That advantage now down to 21 seconds, but that's over Plath. Still 21 seconds to the red jersey there. So 21 seconds back to Tiberi. Is he really able to respond? Could he potentially be stemming the flow and coming back in? Body language doesn't look good though, as Felix Scarlett comes past.
Yeah, we saw this in the women's race. Captain Eamon Dolan tried to go with Longo Borghini and cracked a little bit and went back through the field. The same has happened with Tiberi. I thought in the Mogra that he really rode to his numbers and did a fantastic job. Today, I think he tried to go with Del Toro twice and went into the red too much, and it's just, his legs have gone, he's gone backwards. This man here is not just riding to the stage victory, he's riding to lead this race.
Yeah, and riding towards defence of the title for the UAE team. Of course, Tadej Pogacar being currently the reigning champion, about to crown by the looks of things Isaac Del Toro, albeit of course we've got another stage tomorrow, the final stage. One is built for the sprinters out of the saddle. He knows he needs to make as much as he possibly can, up to half a minute. And Antonio Tiberi finding a rear guard action indeed to even protect his second place on overall general classification. He's in a world hurt as Isaac Del Toro. He's in pain too, but it's an altogether more manageable pain because he knows that is the pain of glory and victory that he is enduring right now. He settles himself in for another push and another potential important victory in a career that is burgeoning, developing, and the Palmares that is positively bulging already for a rider just 22 years of age.
And Mogra, this man here was in control. He's now not in control at all of his own destiny because he tried to go with Del Toro, who's on a better day today than he was on Wednesday. So looks as if he's going to be leading this race by 5 points.
Isaac Del Toro into the final moments of this 6th stage of the UAE Tour, and out of the saddle once again just to ensure that he's maximising his advantage, heading towards a second victory of the week, a second stage success, and with it the overall race leadership. It's Isaac Del Toro through the final bend, approaching the finish line. He even has time for a celebration. It's glory for Isaac Del Toro for Mexico and for the UAE Team Emirates XRG squad. He takes the stage victory, the stopwatch.